Most of the gRPC tutorials tell you how to build a service. Almost none of them tell you how to test one. Most of my career in software development, REST was the go-to technology when it comes to building a services. But nowadays, trend is shifting towards gRPC. gRPC is a modern alternative developed by Google that is designed specifically to fast and efficient service-to-service communication. Instead of sending text-based HTTP requests, gRPC lets you call method on a remote service as if it were a local method call in your code. Network communication, serialization and deserialization are all handled for you under the hood. The foundation of gRPC is protobuf, which stands for protocol buffers. It is a serialization format, and you can think of it as an alternative to JSON, but binary and schema enforced. Everything starts with .protofile. This is where you define your data structures and methods. From this single file, the code is generated automatically. You get the data classes, a server base class to implement, and a client tab to call the service. Both client and server work from the same generated code, which means you never have to write boilerplate logic like serialization and deserialization manually. This is what contract first development means. You write contract first and everything else is derived from it. gRPC runs over HTTP2, unlike traditional REST that runs over HTTP1. This matters because HTTP2 supports multiplexing, which means multiple requests can travel over the same connection simultaneously without blocking each other. It also supports streaming natively, which gRPC exposes as a first-class feature. This means a single gRPC service can support not just standard request and response pattern, but also client streaming, server streaming, and even bidirectional streaming, where both sides can send messages simultaneously. The popularity of microservices created real demand of efficient service-to-service communication. REST over JSON was never suitable for that, as it was more designed for external API communication. gRPC fills that gap. It is fast, strongly typed, and contract-first approach means your client and server are always in sync. This combination is why you're seeing gRPC adoption growing significantly in the industry right now. Testing a gRPC service is not as different from testing any other service as you might expect. Any backend service, regardless of protocol, has a few core areas worth testing: business logic, the actual rules and behaviors your service implements, wiring, making sure your dependencies or components are correctly connected, data persistence, making sure your service reads and writes data correctly, and error handling, checking how your service behaves when something goes wrong. These 4 areas are tested the same way, regardless your service uses gRPC or REST. What is different with gRPC are 2 additional areas: the networking layer and schema and contracts. The network layer is about verifying that an actual RPC call reaches your service implementation correctly. It is not enough to test your business logic in isolation. To verify this, the test needs to use a real gRPC channel, not a mocked one. For Java, the standard approach is using gRPC Java's in-process server. This lets you start the real gRPC server and client in the same JVM without binding to an actual network port. It is fast, has no real networking overhead, but still exercises the real gRPC call mechanics. Schema and contracts is about verifying that messages are correctly serialized, sent and deserialized using your generated protoclasses. Since the contract is generated from protofiles, you are testing the service can correctly populate the response messages and that the client correctly parses them. One thing worth knowing here is default values. In Proto 3, fields that are not explicitly set returns default values like 0 or empty string, not null. This can be a source of bugs if you expect Java-style null checks. In practice, networking and schema R contracts are usually verified by the same test. If you make a real gRPC call using your generated client tab and check the response, you are playing both at once. Thinking of the testing pyramid, everything except business logic could be tested at the integration test level. If we go beyond testing a single service, We could cover all functionality layers at once using end-to-end tests. Or we could have separate contracts test, which protects against breaking changes between service and its consumers. And as we know from the testing pyramid theory, each level has its benefits and trade-offs. And I already covered that in better detail in one of my previous videos that will be linked in the description. Now, let me show you some demo examples. Our system under test consists of UI, database, multiple backend services, and 2 external systems. One of the backend services, specifically stock service, exposes a gRPC API that is consumed by order engine. Communication initiated by stock service towards order engine is REST. The contract between these 2 services is defined by this protofile. It defines 3 business actions of the stock service: reserve, cancel, and ship. It also contains 4 simulation methods used by end-to-end tests and 3 data schemas. Testing of such setup can be broken down into 2 parts: the client side, which is the order engine, and server side, which is the stock service. On the server side, I have unit tests for business logic, which do not differ from any other non-gRPC service. More interesting are the networking and schema and contract layers. These layers are tested at the unit test level inside stock gRPC service test class. In the setup, you can see that we built a real gRPC server and a real channel, but both running inside the JVM server without binding to an actual network port. This gives us real gRPC mechanics, meaning real serialization, real channel, and real stub, without the overhead of actual network communication. The first test verifies that the real gRPC call reaches the implementation of the service correctly. We build a real reserve request using generated builder, send it through the stub, and verify it was correctly delegated to the underlying service with correct parameters. The second test covers the schema and contract layer. When a required field is missing in the request, the service returns proper status code instead of unhandled exception. On the client side, which is the order engine, we are again testing networking and schema and contract layers, but this time from the perspective of the service consuming the gRPC API. We test this at the integration test level. In the configuration, we instruct Spring Boot to use in-process gRPC server instead of the real network address, so the order engine makes real gRPC calls without requiring the stock service to actually be running, which skips the transport layer. That layer is typically covered at the end-to-end level. Then we use the test configuration to register stock service test double. This allows Spring Boot to write to the previously defined in-process gRPC server, so when the order engine calls the gRPC methods, the doubles methods are executed just like the real stock service methods would be. The stock service double extends the same generated base class as the real service would be. It captures incoming requests for later verifications and returns default response. And finally, this integration test creates an order and verifies that the order engine correctly calls stock service via gRPC. We verify that the request was received by the double with correct data, which proves that the message was correctly serialized by client and arrived with the right field values on the server side. That's all I wanted to share with you. Link to the repo with examples will be in the description. Let me know if there is any testing aspect of the gRPC that was not mentioned in the video and you find it crucial. If you like the video, hit the like and subscribe. Thank you. See you in the next one.